I just became aware of this situation with the Standing Rock Sioux Nation and their issues with an oil pipeline company that is raping their land, trampling holy sites and burial grounds. And these people have taken conscious actions to desecrate Native American land. If you weren't aware, the Standing Rock Nation in North Dakota has a treaty with the United States, and they are a sovereign nation, one of the few that are left in America. This oil pipeline company got permission in order to lay pipes going from North Dakota all the way to Illinois. The Standing Rock Nation took these guys to court because they believed, and rightfully so, that this pipeline was going to contaminate their land, both their water supplies and the actual soil itself. While they are in court, when the Standing Rock Nation surveyed some land that these guys are supposed to come through, they discovered holy sites and burial grounds. What they did was they went into federal court, and there's a special federal court that deals solely with Indian sovereign nations, and they notified the court that this company was the route this company was going to use was going to violate, these specific lands, which was obviously in violation of the treaty. Well, the court was taking it under advisement, okay, and there should have been plenty of time for this matter to be resolved in a judiciary sense. What did the oil pipeline company do? They turned around over the weekend, and this is the Labor Day weekend, and we all know that construction companies and most companies do not work on the Saturday or Sunday or the Monday of the Labor Day weekend. These guys showed up on a Saturday. They moved 11 miles from where they had been currently preparing the land and laying pipes. They jumped 11 miles to the specific site that the nation had indicated was sacred land, burial grounds, etc., and started to try to bulldoze the entire site. Well, I did a video on what went down, and the people, the security company sick dogs on a bunch of people, and the bulldozers were successful in bulldozing at least part of the land, but the people rose up and stopped them and pushed them back. And now, yesterday, they went into federal court seeking a restraining order. Now, I'm looking up, but that information hasn't been released yet. But I'm trying to find out, and I believe that they probably got it. The restraining order preventing the oil pipeline company from touching that land until this entire matter is resolved. Anyway, one of my viewers had asked me to start promoting this story, and actually they asked me to start promoting this a couple of months ago, and I went back to them and I asked them to give me some details or some video or something, and I would be more than happy, to push this story. Unfortunately, they never got back to me, and I got wind of this 2 days ago, and I'm starting to push it now. And there's so many stories out there, but there are 3 that I'm going to try to stay on. This is one of them. The lead problem in Indiana is one, and then obviously I'm going to stay with the election cycle. So anyway, here's the a clip from the Lawrence O'Donnell show regarding the situation.
Meet Alice Brown Otter. Alice is 12 years old. She made her first trip to Washington, D.C. this year. She didn't pile into a bus with her 7th grade classmates. She ran all the way from the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation in North Dakota, 1,519 miles. Alice told me she did it because water is life. That's what I kept hearing this weekend at the Standing Rock Reservation in English and Lakota. Water is life. Mani Wachoni. Over 100 tribes from all over North America have gathered there to support the Standing Rock Sioux tribe in protesting the construction of an underground oil pipeline that will go under the Missouri River. The tribes fear that any leakage from the pipeline will damage the river and the reservation. The federal court judge hearing the tribe's case against the pipeline announced last week that he would make a decision at the end of this week. Then on Friday, the tribe filed additional information in court about sacred sites they had located in the path of the pipeline. On Saturday, the pipeline construction company sent bulldozers to those sites and deployed a security force to protect the work of those bulldozers. Security personnel used trained attack dogs to keep protesters away from the bulldozers. It didn't work. The protesters kept advancing. Several of them were reportedly bitten by the dogs. In this shot, captured by Amy Goodman and her crew at Democracy Now!, you can see blood on the mouth of this dog. There were no police witnesses to the confrontation, but a police statement after the fact mentioned only reported injuries to the security personnel, including one who was brought to the hospital in Bismarck but refused treatment when he got there. The pipeline company refused to respond to any of our questions today about their use of attack dogs against the protesters. In an emergency hearing this afternoon, the federal judge handling the case ordered a temporary stop to construction activity on land controlled by the Army Corps of Engineers. Judge James Boasberg said he had no jurisdiction to order a temporary stop on privately owned land. The tribe says there are sacred sites remaining on that privately owned land that could be destroyed by bulldozers this week. Senator Bernie Sanders stands with the tribes. He issued a written statement opposing the construction of the pipeline, but Bernie Sanders is not a presidential candidate anymore, so Hillary Clinton is under no pressure now from Bernie Sanders to take a position on the pipeline. Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein supports the tribes and visited the pipeline protest today, but Jill Stein doesn't have the following of Bernie Sanders, and so the tribe's protest against the pipeline still struggles to be heard by the national news media. No one at the protest camp on Saturday was surprised that the pipeline company literally let loose the dogs against them. It might be hard for the rest of us who believe that in the 21st century, dogs could be used this way legally in America. It could be hard for us to believe, but the tribes aren't surprised. Everyone I met in the protest camp, including the children, is willing to endure dog bites if that's what it takes tomorrow or to preserve their sacred sites and their sacred water. They don't understand why we don't understand what water means to them and to us. They know that we're taught in high school that the human body is 60% water. They know that we are taught that there could be no life of any kind on this planet without water. They know that we know that the first thing we search for on other planets is any trace of water, because water is life. But the tribes know that we think water is just a commodity. It is something outside of us that we use for our convenience. The tribes know better. The tribes know that water is part of us. The tribes know that we are water. There would be no protest today if the pipeline had followed an earlier proposed route that would not have crossed the Missouri River and would not have come close to the sacred sites of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. Alice Brown Otter's first stop in Washington, D.C. was not one of the tourist locations. It was the Army Corps of Engineers, where she stood outside and protested with a small group of kids her age and younger who ran to Washington with her. They did it because water is life. We can only hope the 12-year-old Alice Brown Otter doesn't have to spend the rest of her life trying to teach us what she already knows. Mani Wachoni. Water is life.
Yeah, it's a goddamn shame, you know, and it's just another example of the rich, the powerful trampling on the rights of people. And they, like I said, they are lucky because if you got the wrong people out there, there definitely would be a lot of casualties. And that's as much as I want to say about that because I do value my freedom.